So, how many of you remember what this game was like when it came to the exploration aspect of the systems? Where you would say, click on this, and then you would have this long scene here where you would fly straight to the thing, but it would take a little while, and you'd have to sit here and watch every single time. Remember what that was like when this game first came out? You notice there on the bottom of the screen that there's a skip button. That was not added later. Let me say that again. That was not there until it was added later in a patch. Because believe it or not, it used to be when this game first came out, you had to do this every single time. Every time you clicked something, you had to watch this cutscene fly from place to place. People started getting tired of this, so we finally got a skip button. Now, I've also added a mod that actually changes a bit of how it works. For example, when it flies here, it used to be you would fly straight there, but then you would fly a little bit forward and you'd have to back up. That always seemed a little funny and looked a little strange to me. So what I did is I found a mod that what it actually does is it actually gets to our destination, but it's a little back. So let me go ahead and show you guys once more here how it works. So we would fly over here, and then we would fly a little bit too far forward where it looks like as if we're going to go too close, and then we would back up. So what this mod does is it changes it where you get there and you're a little bit far back and then you move a little bit forward. Almost as if you're then kind of moving into, say, orbit range. Again, I'm currently watching Star Trek and I'm kind of borrowing some of the terminology from that just to kind of explain certain things. But there are just mods like that that just make little changes like that that to me just kind of make it more enjoyable or even better. Again, it's not necessarily a universal thing. Not everyone's going to feel the same way about that mod compared to me. I'd personally prefer that compared to how it used to look. If you preferred it the other way, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, there's no way to skip this, going from a new system to another system. Well, you know what I mean.
This is about as far as the Nexus surveyors could get before, well...
Let's see what's waiting here. I'm picking up something. Probe away. Tracking a huge mineral deposit.
All of a sudden, my camera got stuck. That was strange. I was going to show you this here, and then all of a sudden it got stuck up here, and I don't know why. I couldn't move it down. But, yeah, you'll notice there's a black hole over here. In fact, we can actually get decently close. Look how close we can get to it. And then we can just be like, oh, hey, a black hole. Let's get closer. No, let's not do that. I'm going to be on the lookout for something involving that black hole in the background where I saw it on someone streaming it when the game first came out, and he pointed it out, and he also pointed out how that was basically the developers using a tactic with that shot in the background, basically as a form of cheating, and I'm curious if it's still there. I have not been looking for it during my test runs leading up to this playthrough. But I'm very curious if it's actually still here, and I just pushed the wrong button. So this is essentially the majority, most of the plants here, it's going to be like this, where it's we fly to it, we scan it, and that's it, and then we move on to the next one. And I find myself thinking, because I just recently heard and even saw the announcement at the Microsoft conference when Bethesda came out and Todd Howard was talking about that new game that they're working on. I think it's called Starfield. and basically said that that there's going to be a ton of plants, and that we're going to be able to do the No Man's Sky thing where we can actually go and land on every one, and there's going to be a bunch of stuff on each one. To which I say, yeah, right. Like, if you're going to tell me, like, no, like, I'll believe it when I see it. But the idea of them doing that much, it's just kind of like, my instinct, I'm like, no, you're just pulling another lie on us there, Mr. Howard, about, like, how you did with Fallout 76 and such. It's like, no.
So this is where the human Ark first entered Helios?
Heck of a wake-up call.
I'm showing you guys this just in case something comes up, so I want to make sure we don't miss anything.
I'm picking up something. Deploying probe. We've got a crater.
Leveled up. There's Habitat 7, where we were before. Let's head on back there and take a look.
I'm picking up something. Deploying probe. Satellite detected.
No longer a promising settlement world. The planet's atmosphere is largely argon, nitrogen, and little of the projected plant life has survived. So yeah, this was the planet we landed on earlier in the game. That was supposed to be New Earth. Not anymore. And apparently we were able to fix that place with that thing that we messed with, but doesn't look like it's going to be an overnight fix.
Tracking a huge mineral deposit.
Yeah, this is also another way to get special resources like aluminum there, in order to be able to use that for things like crafting and such. Alright. Now to the system where Eos is.
System Pythias. Andromeda Initiative Habitat 1. Designated Eos.
It was supposed to be an easy first step. Until no one else showed and we got clobbered. Twice.
Why has Sam altered frequency detection?
What are we hearing, Sam?
There is a signal, Pathfinder. I recommend an immediate examination of Eos.
We will when we get there, Sam. We gotta explore the rest of the system first.
I'm picking up something. Probe away. Tracking a huge mineral deposit.
I cannot tell you how happy I was when they added the skip function for this. I was just like, oh, thank you.
Deploying probe. Satellite detected.
Like, it's not so bad the first time you play it, but again, the issue then becomes, and this was the same issue I had with Inquisition, is what it feels like on replayability when you want to play this multiple times.
A mirror of the signal on Habitat 7. Possible atmospheric manipulation.
Is that possible?
We'll find out. If it is like Habitat 7, no doubt we'll run into the cat.
So, this is, of course, the loadout screen, where we get to decide what our weapons are going to be. I've messed with these Pathfinder weapons. I'm actually not too fond of them. Of course, we all know the Predator from the previous Mass Effect games, and the thing is, that's, I think, one of the advantages of the weapons from the Milky Way, because the gear is set up in 3 different categories. One for the Milky Way, one for this galaxy, and another for the species that created the technology we saw earlier. And when it comes to, say, knowing how certain types of weapons function in terms of how they work, usually I think the Milky Way galaxy weapons are going to have that advantage for us as players because we are familiar with these weapons probably most of all because we have previous experience with them. We have no experience with some of the weapons for this new galaxy or, these kind of brand new things for, say, the initiative and such. So it's like, well, I mean, we could, but why would we when we also have, others that we are definitely more familiar with, like, instead of the deep impacts, I would just use the katana, of course, It's like there's the Observer, but I've got the Viper, so, I know these weapons. I have used them before. So, I'm actually going to go ahead and... Actually, hold on. Unequip that. I'm going to keep the shotgun because, obviously, as I said earlier, I'm basically going to be playing a Vanguard in this. So the shotgun will be one of my tried and trues, just not this shotgun. Let's just say I'm planning on making a much better shotgun later on, especially with almost all the different weapons from the different resources and such that I'll be able to gather later on. So this is the stuff you get to start off with, and I'm basically using these instead of the others because, of course, I'm very familiar with them. And when it comes to the armor pieces, it's like, well, there's stuff here, then there's this as well. You get some of this starting stuff because this is basically stuff that you were given if you got, say, I think it was the digital deluxe editions. It's basically the kind of starter DLC gear that you get. You know that how some games have DLC where it's like, hey, when you start the game, you get this, as opposed to having to wait until later on. So, and it really kind of depends on what the bonuses are because the initiative stuff has no bonuses here. Space Explorer will have extra XP so you can level faster. This will give you more ammo and more weapon weight, which is probably not a big deal, depending on what you are going to be running. If you're going to be playing a ability heavy focused class instead of weapons, this may not be as big a deal to you. So, there are pros and cons to each one is basically what I'm getting at here. A little bit of encounter XP for initiative. For deep space, it's encounter XP and weapon damage. Max ammo, sell prices, and weapon weight. So yeah, let's just say that right away the scavenger armor is like, oh, okay, this is actually kind of appealing. So we'll just go ahead and go with the scavenger one for now. I'm not too fond of how it looks, honestly, but that stuff I can go ahead and change later. So it may be what we start off with, but trust me, that's going to change. And we can select our squad. We're going to get rid of Liam and get Vetra in there. Not just because I don't like Liam and like Vetra more, but also because there's actually an extra cool bit of story stuff that you get having Vetra in the party as opposed to either Cora or Liam. So, anyways.
Suiting up. See you on the ramp.
Hope we're all that ready. Callow, all right?
Integrating search area from Sam. How he pulled that mystery signal through the storms, I have no idea.
Multisensory neural collation. Amazing.
Factory fresh across the board. Spinning up the compensators.
You're already tuning the displays.
We'll get a better read on this pass than the Nexus has had in months.
What? I said a lot of people have their hopes pinned on us.
They gave up on Eos. Can't blame them. Expected a golden world, instead they saw their friends die. Never know how that'll affect. Sorry. You okay?
Liam, why did you feel the need to kind of put that on me, going, hey, a lot of people are counting on us? It's like, why did you feel the need to put that on me, pal? Just serious. It's like, that's not really what I need to hear right now. It really isn't.
I've got the training, people, the tools. We can do this.
Pathfinder, the Tempest checks out. We're good.
So yeah, you get to stay on the ship, Liam. Have fun. And then he just stands behind me all creepy. Look at that.
No idea how long
Now, I'm guessing that's a bug, but... Boy, that looks creepy. Liam, stop standing behind me like that. Oh, by the way, I also have another mod that cuts down the little cutscenes here of us getting to and leaving the planet.
Right.
The ship. He's still standing behind me. Stop being creepy, Liam.
hell.
There. Set us down at this nav point.
Yeah, I know the helmet looks silly. Trust me, I plan on switching it out later.
What are we even supposed to do here?
Reports state this planet suffers deadly storms that are contaminated by radiation from the Scourge. EO's deployment was incomplete due to environmental hazards and ultimately hostile encounters.
Plus, no Pathfinder. If Eos is like Habitat 7, that signal we scanned must be connected with the atmosphere. We could use the outpost's antenna to track it down. Let's get the power back on. They must have known these wouldn't last in these conditions.
How would they know? They didn't have a Pathfinder.
They do now. We'll make Eos a home.
So I want to share a funny little line with you guys.
Really, Ryder?
I love that. I just love that Cal saw us land on top of the ship. He's like, really? But yeah, you can already notice the difference, right? Look at that. The biotics when I use the jump jet. I just love that they made that little change. Little changes like that to me are just kind of awesome.
Door's getting emergency power, but it's code locked.
Site 1 issued individual security codes. Each outpost self-organizes and sets its own protocol.
Just say we can't open it without codes.
We can't open it without codes. This analysis provides us with important research data, Pathfinder. If you continue to scan and collect this data, we can utilize it to develop new technologies and upgrades for equipment, such as your weapons and armor.
I also found a mod that allows us to cut down on the amount of stuff that Sam tells us. Trust me, this will pay off later.
We suffered our first death today. Storm came out of nowhere. Lockley tried to cover our crops. Lost his footing. Got swept away. His wife is still in cryo. Maybe by the time they wake her up, I'll know what to say.
Got a code lock key.
Gives us access if we need it.
Main door had power, but not the interior doors?
Full functionality would require an active power relay station.
That means the antenna's out of power, too. The logs might tell us what's up with the power relay.
Sometimes after you look at some of these logs, the characters will actually comment on what we just read. Nothing to scan in here. A couple containers to open, though.
Sandstorm. Was radiation? What the hell was Addison thinking, sending us here? Eos might have looked great back in the Milky Way, but up close, it's a hellscape. Farthingale's on my case to stay positive. Put on a brave face for the rest of the team, but I can't shake the feeling that I'm gonna die out here.
I got a partial log, but I can't turn on the antenna. Something's blocking the power.
A remote lock is active. The interference originates from a nearby power relay tower.
So we're not the only ones interested in what happened here.
Let's check out this relay tower. Look at this place. It's a wasteland.
The radiation in Eos's atmosphere makes it difficult to cultivate life.
Radiation? Our suits protect against that, right?
Site 1 contains shield masts to dampen the brunt of contamination.
But if we go outside Site 1's perimeter?
That would not be advised.
At least not for now. So yeah, I can see why I got this mod.
It fits the profile of a power relay station, Pathfinder.
Right. We get it running, maybe buildings get power.
And we can hunt that signal down.
Being able to jump jet this high is wonderful. Now, yeah, that did take me out of the range of the shield. And I was like, radiation! But trust me, being able to jump that high is wonderful for getting around. Especially when later on the radiation clears up and you're actually trying to get up to high places to either get an item or explore whatever. It's wonderful.
Huh. Guess that ship wasn't Ket then. They don't knock.
There are people here? We thought everyone left was gone.
Of course you did. Now shove off. Find your own salvage. This spot's taken.
I'm not a salvager. I'm a pathfinder. We've come to fix all this.
Call me Clancy. Pathfinder, huh? Like that changes much. The Nexus just can't let Eos go, can it? However much it fails down here.
I'm tracking a signal that will help Eos. I only need power for the antenna.
Look, I cut the power for a reason. The Ket are patrolling today. You turn the power relay back on, they'll know there's a juicy target alive down here.
Help me with the power relay, and I'll take care of the Ket.
You're crazy. Though maybe it's a good crazy. Okay, I'll enable the generators out there. You want to poke the tiger, it's on you.
Expect trouble when we start the generators.
There's an error in the startup sequence. Manual input required.
Damn it.
Please scan one of the pylons to determine a hackable input location.
Generator is active. Sam, our friend Clancy, was he part of the outpost team here?
No, Pathfinder. According to Nexus records, he's stationed in the hangar bay.
So he used his clearance to sneak off the station. Make some credits on the side.
Don't sound so impressed.
Generator interface possible. Location marked.
We've got company.
That's right. I think... Alright, yeah, that's right. The mouse wheel can also swap between weapons. That's right. Alright, I didn't show that off properly. I really want to help show this off. So I'm gonna jump real high, and then... I'm sorry, that's just really satisfying to just go really up high and then slam down on the ground like that, like Imperious. Or like a Dragoon, for those of you who are familiar with them from Final Fantasy. But I just also remember Imperious doing that in Diablo 3, and I was like, wow! Of course, my Crusader can do that.
You took down all those Ket? Sure, use the power relay. Hell, take whatever you like. Word of advice, though. If that signal of yours is out past the perimeter, you'll need a ride.
A ride?
Shuttles aren't fun in these winds. You need wheels. I think they kept a little something in storage.
Didn't get around to salvaging it yet?
I tried. It ain't that simple. Might be easier for a Pathfinder, though. We're heading to our shuttle. Keep this up. Maybe next time we'll find more than just salvage around here.
Go on. We'll take it from here.
I guess Crazy Blue has to buy her parts from someone else.
Power restored. We should have access to everything in Site 1 now, right, Sam?
Correct. Plus, I've located the source of the signal we detected in orbit. It's coming from the large alien structure just beyond Site 1. The structure appears almost identical to the one your father used to adjust the atmosphere on the previous planet. It's worth investigation.
That almost feels like a lead. Damn right it's worth investigating.
A warning. Radiation levels beyond the perimeter of Site 1 are well above acceptable limits. You cannot proceed without additional protection.
All the more reason to see if that alien structure can make a difference to this planet. Come on. We better find that vehicle Clancy mentioned.
Now that power is restored, we can investigate the nearby buildings.
Including the area down here.
If wall...
Not sure why he cut himself off there.
Wilcox thinks I'm crazy, but I know what I saw. Eyes on the mountain, watching us. We're not alone out here.
This log was recorded a day before the first Ket ambush on Site 1.
The Ket scouted them out.
It actually worked. Is there audio?
Compiling now.
We can't survive another attack. The storms and radiation were already killing us. Now we've got those things.
We can't return to the Nexus with our tails between our legs. The whole station is counting on us.
Then they're counting on corpses.
Damn, that's grim.
Yep.
There was something very wrong at the second outpost they made.
An attack? The radiation?
Whatever it was, Site 2 made a special project to handle it. Let's keep it in mind for later. Well, what do you know? The Outpost's research center is still intact.
Updating the Tempest on this critical recovery.
Research was always key to the initiative. We'll need it here too.
We're not scavenging anymore. This is how we rebuild.
Someone else agrees. This research center was used recently to monitor the alien signal.
This gives us the tools to find the source, and maybe whoever else is looking.
So yeah, this is basically...
The research station is back online. I've provided a list of weapons we can build by gathering the required components.
Yeah, it's basically a tutorial to help you utilize the research center.
Special requisition, all-terrain scout rover.
A Nomad, 6-wheel drive, jump jets, just what you need.
So shiny.
This must be what Clancy meant.
The crate requires an access code from a forward station. Forward stations act as emergency resupply checkpoints. Several are currently in orbit.
I can call one down. Let's find a good spot.
Automated protocols activated. Deploying forward station.
Looks like the forward station supplies are intact.
Downloading Nomad Crate access code.
Before we do that, though, let's go check out these other two buildings over here.
Pathfinder, I have enough sensory data to reconstruct an image. I could provide analysis via the scanner, Pathfinder.
You step outside recently. There's nothing golden about Eos.
Not saying there won't be challenges, but we can do this, Wilcox. We have to.
It's like we're listening to ghosts.
Yep. Kind of creepy, but also kind of insightful.
Another code, like we already found.
So now let's get our vehicle for this game. And, well, it's gonna look a little familiar. This is the Nomad. And you're probably thinking, hey, this looks like the, this looks like the Mako. Yeah. It's similar, but not quite. Sorry about that. For some reason, all of a sudden, the game just kind of, like changed my, video output, or the screen went weird there, so I had to cut that out. I don't know why it did that, but, anyways. Yeah, the Nomad is this game's version of the Mako, and some people may hate me for this. Don't get me wrong, I love the Mako, but I really like the Nomad. For one thing, the Nomad has a couple of different modes. It has, well, I think Gil's going to explain it in just a moment, so I'll let him go over it.
The Nomad should handle pretty smooth. Check both forward and reverse, would you?
Oops. So yeah, you can see some similarities in terms of like how it kind of like collides. No, though obviously nowhere near what the Mako used to do. And it has a 6-wheel drive mode. Seriously. So you'll look on the bottom left there. You notice how it goes blue. This is the faster mode. This is the 6-wheel drive mode for terrain driving, and it just slows you down, but lets you be able to like handle tougher roads much better and easier. And you get a speed boost, like that. You also, of course, get jump jets to jump high. Yeah, and you can make various other upgrades to it as well that you can either craft or get from shops. I really like the Nomad, and here is one of the reasons why I enjoy this aspect of exploration in this game more so than Dragon Age Inquisition. Because Inquisition did not have this to help us get around. Having the Nomad to get around makes exploring so much better. Of course, it also has jump jets as well, but I enjoy exploring open world content in this game more so than Dragon Age Inquisition just because of the amount of extra mobility I have with the jump jets as well as the Nomad. It just allows me to enjoy it much more so than the slow running around every place in Inquisition I had to do. So, anyways. When we come back, we will be heading out to explore whatever this strange signal is to help explain what happened here and see if it can help us fix what's going on. Stay tuned.